Senator Kaine, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just continue the line of, not inquiry, because I don't have a question about this, but I just want to follow up on Senator Slotkin. 25 of us in the Senate wrote a letter to the President a week ago, and we asked questions about these operations in the Caribbean. Give us the evidence that these boats were carrying drugs. Tell us who was on the boats. Tell us what your legal authority was to take a military strike that had not been authorized by Congress. The question that I really want to know is, why did you decide to attack rather than interdict? If you interdict a drug boat, you get evidence. You seize the drugs, but you also get evidence by having access to people, and often it's that evidence that leads you to be able to go after the kingpins and the real, muscle behind these operators. If you attack a boat and destroy it, it makes an impact, but you don't get the evidence. It may actually be counterproductive in fighting narco-trafficking to destroy a boat rather than seize it. And if you know where it is enough to destroy it, you could have seized it. We asked the President to give Congress answers to these questions, which are fundamental questions about an Article I branch's responsibility to be engaged in decisions about military action. We gave the White House 7 days to answer. These are not hard questions. They've not answered. The 7 days expired yesterday. We have no indication that they will answer. And that's likely to lead to a war powers resolution and a required vote in Congress. And sometimes when a vote is required, the administration will begrudgingly provide information. I credit what Senator Wicker said. Each of you have indicated that you will provide information to Congress. But on a basic question as fundamental as should the United States be engaging in military action, putting the lives of our men and women who serve at some risk, the Article II branch shouldn't stiff-arm the Article I branch, and that's what's happening right now. And that's why I'm sure Senator Slotkin and so many other members of the committee are very, very concerned. There might be answers to these questions that would satisfy us. But I can tell you when the questions are not answered, we end up with some real suspicion about why they're not being answered. Mr. Morgan, I want to ask you this question. I know many have asked you questions about sort of the independence of the IG role. The ranking member talked about the administration's decisions to fire IGs right out of the gate has caused folks to have a little bit of concern about this. Assure the committee, assure me that you will be independent and that you will also keep Congress informed, as IGs should, of the work that you're doing.
Senator Kaine, thank you for the question. Thank you for the opportunity to meet with you yesterday. I really enjoyed our session. You have my personal pledge to be independent and objective, and the statute itself, the Inspector General Act, provides certain safeguards to ensure the independence of the Inspector General, the ability to initiate an investigation on the own determination of the Inspector General that it's necessary, and also if a secretary determines that an investigation is not warranted and it's not being blocked for national security reasons, the Inspector General can still go ahead with that investigation. So I pledge to you to follow the letter and tenor of the statute.
Thank you for that. One other question. You would be the IG of the largest IG operation in the U.S. government. I guess you kind of compete with HHS, but I think you're probably the largest. And I believe that the complement of employees in the DoD IG is about 1,500. I asked you the question yesterday, how many of those IG employees have accepted the resign offer, and how much is that likely to shrink the workforce of your office?
After I left your office yesterday, I got the answer to that question. So the workforce had a high watermark of 1,800 as a result of the deferred resignation program. It's been reduced by 200.
So down to 1,600.
Yes. And
Thank
then
you for
there
that.
have been some people that have been subject to the layoffs of probationary employees.
Thank you.
I don't have the number for that.
But that's helpful. Mr. Anderson, I'm going to ask you a question for the record because I think it's probably better that it's just not be on the fly. So I'll submit it, but I'll tell you what it's about. The GAO did a report in November of '24 about high-risk training oversight, and they recommended that Special Forces take a number of actions to reduce injuries and even fatalities in high-risk training operations. That was about a year ago, and a number of the recommendations have not yet been implemented. So I'm going to ask a question for the record about what you might do, should you be confirmed, to implement those recommendations so that we can continue to do appropriate training but bring down the risk of injury to our troops in Special Forces. And so I'll submit that for the record to you. Thank you.